G'day again. Welcome back to Dad vs Son and our playthrough of Command and Colours Napoleonics. And we're going on with the next battle scenario chronologically that I have, which is the third scenario from the Austrian army expansion, which is Haslach-Jungingen, 11th of October 1805. Again, the Austrians over there, the French over here. This is the town of Jungingen here. This is Haslach down here, and the town of Bofingen over here. We have the Danube River here, and we have a stream in the centre. So as you can see, there's a church in the town there. Whoopee. Righto, so the background is that Mack, now surrounded at Ulm, made a bold attempt to break out eastward along the northern bank of the Danube. Dupont's 1st Division was outnumbered and in danger, yet was all that stood in the way of the Austrian army's escape. This is Dupont down here. Instead of retreating, Dupont chose to make a stand and hoped to convince the Austrians that he had a greater force by launching a series of holding attacks. He ordered Royer's light infantry to move quickly and succeeded in capturing the village of Jungingen. This is Royan, these are his light infantry. The control of the village and the surrounding woods rendered Mack's powerful cavalry force ineffective. Through the afternoon, as the engagement progressed, Mack came to believe that the French force he was facing was indeed the advance guard of a larger force. Ever cautious, Mack did not commit his reserves and forfeited his last chance to escape. During the night, Mack retired back to Ulm, and Dupont also withdrew, leaving Ney and Murat to argue about who was responsible for placing Dupont in such a dangerous position. Dupont was regarded as an outstanding division commander by the end of the campaign, and was later rewarded with command of a small army when Napoleon first invaded Spain. His surrender at Baylen ended his military career. The stage is set, the battle lines are drawn, and you're in command. Can you change history? Again. Righto. So, Austrian commander is Mack, who is not on the board, and they have 4 command cards. French commander Dupont is on the board, has 5 commands, and moves first. We are going for 6 victory banners. The special rules are, firstly, that the 3 town hexes of Bofingen and Jungingen form a temporary majority victory banner objective worth 1 victory banner for the side that occupies the absolute majority of these hexes at the start of a turn. So if you hold 2 of any of these 3 hexes, 1 victory banner. When all 3 towns are occupied, it is worth 2 victory banners instead of 1. So, yeah, the French really want to try and get up there, hold it, negate the cavalry, and go that way. The Danube River over here is impassable, so it's just dead ground. And the stream is fordable, and there are no movement or battle restrictions at the 2 fords. So if we cross at the 2 fords or the bridge, there are no restrictions. Simple as that. But any of the other spaces, and it's a normal halt, and you have the normal battle restrictions and movement restrictions and so forth. Again, I have the cavalry square cards here for the Austrians and the French victory banners, Austrian victory banners, and the battalion mass markers for if the Austrian line units go into square. As a reminder, the only difference between the battalion mass and a normal infantry unit going into square is that the line units do not lose a card from their side, because they're more compact, more easily removed, use your words, maneuverable force. What other terrain features do we have? Basically just some forests over here. Most of the map is actually clear terrain, so there's no hills for advantage or anything else. It's all going to come down to towns, forests and so forth, and maintaining control of fords and the bridge so that you can move freely from either side and stop the enemy from doing the same. So historically, we're going to try and move the light units forward into the town areas if we can, before the Austrians can come forward. There are no infantry units, as you can see, on the Austrian left flank. It's all cavalry and horse artillery on the left flank, and all foot units on the right flank, whereas the French have a good mix of line units here, light heavy cavalry, foot artillery, line units, light units, heavy cavalry, light cavalry again, and again lots of leaders, 4 leaders against 2. Righto. So we have 5 command cards for the French. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 cards for the Austrians. Ready to go. And the French are up first. So let's see what they've got. And they have a coordinated advance, attack right flank, assault right flank, probe right flank, or a flank attack. So lots of stuff up the left, bit of stuff up the left, a lot of stuff up the right, and the only thing is 2 units up the centre, which is this area here. So if we want to look at moving these light units up as far as possible and giving them some support, then we probably want to do a right flank assault. Do we need to assault? That would give us 1, 2, 3. We've only got 3 units and a leader, so an assault would be wasted because that's 5 cards. We could do a right flank attack for 3, but this leader is going to be standing out there doing nothing. Or the other way we go is a coordinated advance to start with, but I don't have any unit that can make it up to here. So I think we're going to have to use the assault right flank. Okay, so up to 5 units on the right flank here. So we've got this light unit, light unit, light unit, and a leader by itself. So my first intent is to move this light unit 1, 2, and they're going to go into the town hex with the church. And they're sitting in there, ready to go. To give them a little bit of support without getting out of the way at all, we're going to go 1, 2 up this forest area. And that way we're helping to block this whole right French flank to start with. I'm going to move this leader here, 1, 2 up to this line unit at the moment, and the light cavalry is actually going to go 1, 2, 3 up into the forest here, just hiding back out of the way, ready to dash out to their left or ahead and around the light infantry this way so that they can give them support as well. And that is the French first go. Okay, the Austrians saw that happening and they went, oh bugger, what are we going to do about it? And they have forward, which gives them 2 in each. Give them the cold steel, which is no good because we don't have any adjacent units. a rally, which is going to be a really good card a bit later, and a coordinated advance. So we're looking at all three areas straight up. So it's going to be between forward and coordinated advance. Righto. We need to get some infantry over here, is the thing. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for a forward, which is going to give us 2 in each area. Now, what ones are we going to do? Righto. So first one I think is going to be this line unit here. We need to bring them forward. And do that. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could start to bring fire on over here already with the foot artillery. So we'll try that. So that's the 2 on the Austrian right flank. On the left flank, I really don't want to put cavalry in here, which is a bit of a pain, but yeah, I can't really afford to. So I think the first thing we need to do is, let's bring our horse artillery for 1 and our leader for 2 there. I'm keeping the cavalry back out of fire to start with. And then in the centre here, let's get these grenadiers moving, and let's also get this line unit moving. So we have 2 on the Austrian right, 2 on the Austrian left, and 2 in the centre. So this line unit is going to move forward, and that's all they can do. Foot artillery staying there. They're going to be going bang. This line unit is going to move forward to here, and that way they're behind the forests here and behind the forests here, so neither of these artillery units can do them. And now they have this forward under their control at the moment. The grenadier unit is going to move onto the bridge, coming across to give support. The horse artillery is staying where it is, and I'm going to bring the leader forward to there. Okay, so we have the foot artillery here and the horse artillery here, which are going to fire. Horse will fire first, and they're going to fire at this line unit here. Do they want to do that, or they want to fire there at the foot? In fact, they're going to fire at the foot, because the foot's the only one that can fire back at the moment. So it's a range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which gives them 1 die. And they miss. And then we have the horse artillery here, which can only fire into the light there, and that's a range of 1, 2, 3 for horse artillery, which is 1 die, but they can't actually shoot into there, can they? Because it'd be 1 die into there, but it's a negative because of the town being a -1, takes it to 0. So I should have moved them forward 1, and then they could have still fired. I screwed it. Bugger. Bugger, 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 bugger. Oh well, that's what happens when you're having fun. Okay. So back over to the French with their probe right flank, flank attack, coordinated advance, attack right flank, and they've got a fire and hold. So what can they do with a fire and hold? So it's 4 or fewer artillery and infantry. So none of these guys are in range of anything. This one's not in range of anything, and none of these other than this guy are in range. So a fire and hold is no good to man nor beast. Now, if I go to the right I could move this line up into here, and then I could move this light unit into here. That's going to give me those two straight up. And if I can hold those at the start of next turn for the French, then that's going to give them one victory banner. So I could get away with a probe right flank over there. If I do an attack right flank, then I could bring the foot a bit closer, or the line a bit closer. I don't really want to cut the foot off from being able to go forward, or I could bring the... Do I want to do that? Not really. So coordinated advance, I could do one on each flank and two in the centre. And that's, I think, what we might go for, because I want some of the centre stuff to move and I want some of the flank stuff to move. So let's do a coordinated advance. So the first thing we're going to move up is going to be this line infantry on the French left flank. Is that the one I want to move? No, not at the moment. We'll go with this guy. On this flank here, I'm going to move this light infantry, and then I'm going to move this, can't do that, two in the centre, will be the heavy cav and the not a real good idea. And this light cav. So that's the two in the centre, one on the left, one on the right. So right flank is going to move forward to here. Oops, sorry. Into the other part of the town, and they can bring this under fire now. Nothing else is moving here. This mob is going to move do they move here to bring them under fire? No. They're going to come to here. They can't bring anybody under fire, but the artillery can't get them either because they're going through the town. And the light cavalry is going to go 1, 2 to here, because I still want to leave a retreat of 1 back here at the moment. And the heavy cav is going to go 1, 2 up into the woods, positioning themselves to come barreling out of there into the other people. Righto, so light is into here, firing over here, and light infantry get half round down +1, so they get 2 + 1 is 3, and they can fire after moving into a town or anything else. So at the horse artillery, and they get nothing. 2 infantry and that. Okay. So that is it for the French. Okay, back to the Austrians, who have their coordinated advance, their rally, give them the cold steel, and bombard. Wow. Okay, so we can't use give them the cold steel because we still have nothing adjacent. We haven't lost anybody yet, so we don't really want to waste a rally. So that leaves us a bombard and a coordinated advance. So I think we'll do the coordinated advance. So 1 in each flank, 2 in the centre. So on the Austrian right flank, we've got 1, and that's going to be this line unit. On this flank, it's going to be the horse artillery unit, and in the centre will be the grenadiers and this line unit. So this one is going to move first, and he's going to move up into Böfingen. This line unit is going to move up into the forest. The grenadiers are going to come into this forest. And the horse artillery would be 2 minus 1, or if they move up it would be 3 minus 1, which would give them 2 shots. So we're going to do that. Horse artillery is going to move up with the leader. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, done. We'll do this first. So horse artillery is going to fire on the light. They're at point blank range, so they get 3 dice. Minus 1 for firing into a town is 2. And they get 2 hits, which is not a bad start. However, the light infantry is going to fire back, and they're going to fire back for 2 plus 1 is 3. First things first. Leadership. Leader attack. And he's safe. Okay. Firing back at the horse artillery, and we get 2 hits. Ouch. And again, leadership, and he's safe. Right-o. Next one, we'll have this line unit firing at the heavy cav. They've moved, so their half rounded down is 2. Firing into a forest is minus 1, so they get 1 at the heavy cav, and they miss. But they're now positioned, ready to go. And then we have this line unit, which cannot do anything because they've just moved into the town. Righto, so that's that. French. Okay, so they've got a fire and hold, which isn't too bad this time, but not great. A probe right, an attack right, a flank attack, and a probe centre. So let's have a look at fire and hold. So 4 artillery or infantry units may not move before or after. So this line unit could melee with them. They'd be bringing 5 dice, 4 plus 1 for melee, minus 1, so they still get 4 die into here. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 2, so they'd be bringing 3 die into there. Nobody else here can shoot or do anything. This foot could not shoot into here. They don't have a line of sight, so that's not going to help. This foot has this unit they could fire at, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 die into there, minus 1 die. It's not going to do anything. This light infantry can't fire at anybody, but we'll only leave this to try and wipe that out. So it'd be a little bit of a waste, really. So we'll forget about that. Righto. So we can do 2 or 3 on the right flank if we wanted. We don't really need to do anything in the centre at the moment, so we'll forget about probe centre. We can forget about the probe right, because I think we want to do both at once. So let's do our flank attack, 2 on each flank. And we're going to do this light unit, this light unit, so that's 2 on the right flank, 2 on the left flank. Is this line unit here and this line unit here. So this line unit is going to move forward 1 to here, or not. Yes, they are. Like that. So they can bring them under fire. They can melee them as well. Over here, this light unit is going to go 1, 2 into here. And that gives the French now 1 banner at the start of their turn if they finish holding this. And if they can push them out of there and get in there, then they'll get 2 victory banners. Right, now this mob have moved 2, cannot do any more. Drunken leader falling over. Okay, so what are we going to do first? And I think what we'll do first is we'll get this line unit to fire over here. They've moved, so they get 2. And line infantry, they don't get anything else. Okay, so it's just 2, but it's -2 into a town. So they're not going to get anything. Okay, this line unit meleeing into there is 1 for each block, +1, -2 is 3, and they get 1 retreat. And these guys have to go back 2. So they can come back this way, or they can come back this way. And I think they want to come back this way. Then this guy's going to move forward and go, yay team. Righto, which leaves now here to here. And again, we have light units meleeing, so they get 2. Yep, against the horse artillery, and they get 1 retreat, which they can ignore because of the leader. And that means they're going to come back with 2, because they've only got 1 unit left. And they're firing into the town, so they lose 1, so it's 1 die against them, and they get 1. And we have to do our leader check, and he's safe. Okay, so the French are now in command of those 3 town hexes, so if they can maintain that at the start of their next turn, they'll get 2 victory banners straight up. Not good. Okay, so give them the cold steel. We don't have anybody adjacent that we can use that for. Forget about it. Rally, well, we've only lost 2 artillery at the moment, only. Bombard could be handy. And scout left flank, it's over here, which is not going to really help either. So I think we're going to have to bombard. So 4 or fewer artillery units. They can move up to 3 hexes and not battle, or may not move and battle with 2 additional die. So we have this guy is for 1, this guy is for 2, This guy is for 3. He's not going to move. He is not going to move. He is going to move. And he can move up to 3 hexes. So let's go 1, 2 to there. And that's good. Righto. So 2 additional die. So we have the horse artillery here, who gets 2 die, plus 2 die for the bombard. -1 for firing into the town. -1, -2, -1, -1 for artillery. 3 die against here. And we get 2 retreats. So we can ignore the first retreat if we wish with him, but we still have to retreat with at least 1 hex. And I think we need to retreat the 2. So we'll go 1. Oh, no. 1, 2 to here. Like that. Okay, so he did well. Now over here, again, we're at range 2 for foot artillery, which is 3 die, plus an extra 2, -1 into the town, it's 4 die, and we get 1 hit on the line unit, and we get 2 retreats. So they have to retreat 1 at a minimum. So they retreat to there. And that is the end of the Austrian turn. And now they only have the 1 hex, so they're not going to get any points for this go. Righto, back to the French with their fire and hold, which is not going to do jack, because the only one that can really do anything is this guy. He could, but he's not going to really achieve much, and he can't really shoot at anybody. So we have probe center, probe right, attack right, and another probe right. So we've got nothing on the left flank. So center or right? Center or right? Okay, let's have a look here. So if we do we have 2 units on the right. So what we could do is bring the light infantry forward into here. They could still melee then with the horse artillery. We could bring the light cavalry forward into the town, even though they're not going to be worth any sort of attack or anything. That would then give them the 2 hexes here again, potentially leading to at least 1 victory point next turn. So we could probe the right flank. If we look at the center, so on the right center, we could maybe bring the foot artillery further 1 forward. I think they would still be relatively safe there. Yep, because we're cutting across this wooded, forested area with the foot artillery there. And then that would let them bring this under fire, or them under fire as needed. Or I could bring the line forward into here, which again would bring this under fire, and they would still be safe from there, and they're out of range of the grenadiers. So we could do either one of those there, or whatever. Over this side, we could punch out with the heavy cav 1, 2, and try and tie these down, but then they're just going to get shot to the poop. So I don't think there's much that we can do there. I don't think this bit's worthwhile. So we're going to do a probe right flank. It's not that aggressive, but it helps to keep pressure on the Austrians so that they're continually having to react to what we're doing. 1, 2, 3, into there. Okay, so light infantry now can bring those under melee. We don't have any strike first strike, whatever. So 4 dice for the light infantry against the horse artillery, and they get 2 retreats, so they have to retreat at least 1. And I think they will retreat 1 to there and ignore the second. And that's that. Righto. So the Austrian left flank is still looking relatively good, but we need to get these guys moving up and around to bring some pressure, cut these off so we can come through and take them out. The Austrian right flank's looking very good at the moment, and the centre's relatively strong as well. So we have scout left flank for 1, rally, give them the cold steel, give them the cold steel's no good. Rally again, we still only have the 2 horse artillery, so I don't know if it's worthwhile doing that. And we have forward 2 in each, and I think that's what we'll do. So we're going to go forward for 2 in each. Okay, so let's get the heavy cuirassiers on the move over here, and the light cavalry. So that's the left flank there. Let's do the horse artillery for the centre here, and the grenadiers. Is that what I want? Is that what I really want? No, I don't want to do that. I'll do the heavy cuirassiers for the centre. And then on the Austrian right flank, again, can't shoot over here because we're going through the town. We can get 2 over to here, so let's do this one and this one. Is that what I want? No, not that one. This one. So this guy is going to move up to here, and he can bring either the heavy cav or this line unit under fire. The foot artillery can shoot this unit as well, so that's good. The grenadiers are going to come forward to here and hopefully kick these guys out, and then they could move in there. The heavy cuirassiers are going to come forward too. Excuse me. Now attacking into a town with them would still give me 2 to attack into there, which is worthwhile. And then we have the light cav over here moving for 3. 1, 2, 3. And the heavy cuirassiers moving for 2. 1, 2. Or, yeah, to there. And they're just helping to block this coming around here. So do I want those to go? Where? Hang on a tick. Hang on, they were in the corner, weren't they? No, they were there. Yeah. So these guys are going to come up 1, 2, 3, and basically stop this light cav from coming around and taking out my horse artillery. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the foot artillery here to fire on this line unit. So we're at a range of 1, 2, 3, so that's 2 die. And we get 1 and a retreat. So they come back to here. And they're done. Which then leaves this line unit to fire into here. And they moved, so they only have 2 dice. -1, firing into a forest. So it's 1 die against the heavy cav, and they get a cav, but heavy cav can't ignore anything. No, it's cuirassiers that can. So heavy cav loses 1. Righto, so they did well as well. Okay. So we're going to do the grenadiers first into here. And grenadiers are going to get 1 per block, +1 is 5. Into town, which is -2. So they get 3 against the light infantry, and they kill off 2 of them. Excuse me. The light infantry comes back with 2 against the grenadiers and get 2 of them, which was nasty. But well done for them. Righto. So then we have the heavy cuirassiers into the town, and they get 1 per block +1, so that's 5, -3 for a cavalry attacking into a town, so they've got 2, and because they are in a town, they cannot go into square. So first heavy cuirassier against the light infantry, and they get 1 of them. Second heavy cuirassier against the light infantry. Again, they get 5, -3 is 2. Sorry, light infantry gets to come back first. And they get 1 heavy cuirassier. There you go. Knew I forgot something. Righto, other heavy cuirassier against the light infantry, and they kill it. And that's the first banner to the Austrians. And then the cuirassiers can move 1. And they can move 1 more. And they'll come up to here. No, they can't. They've gone into a town. You can't advance past the town. So we have them into here. They've kicked the light infantry out, which was worthwhile anyway. And then we have the light infantry into the town here, and that's 1 per, so -3, so they get 1 die. And they miss, and the other light infantry comes back with 1 die and makes us retreat. So we go back 1 to here. there we go. Okay. So again, we've kicked them out so they don't get a point to start with, or 2 points to start with, which is good. And we have first blood to the Austrians. So, French, not happy. They have a probe and attack right flank, a probe centre, a fire and hold, and lucky last is a scout left flank. Okay. So I think what they need to do is something in the centre. So all they've got for the centre is probe centre for 2. And to do that, they're going to use the foot artillery here and the heavy cavalry here. And the heavy cav's going to go 1, 1, 2 over to here on the right flank. And the foot artillery is going to fire at the grenadiers, and that's a distance of 1, 2, 3, which gives them 2 die. And they get 1 hit and 1 retreat, which can be ignored if we want, but we are not going to ignore it, and we're going to fall back into the forest. Okay, so now the Austrians have a probe and a scout left, given the cold steel and a rally. So again, cold steel, all units adjacent to the enemy. We only still have 1 adjacent to the enemy. So again, that would be a waste. So we could probe or scout the Austrian left flank, which is over here. And we have 1, 2, 3 units. The light unit could go 1, 2, 3, which would cut off their retreat. That would allow us to bring the heavy cuirassiers forward to have a go at this guy, and for the horse artillery to move forward 1 and have a go as well. Or we can try and rally up with our grenadiers or cuirassiers and stuff as well. I think we'll hold the rally at the moment. We've only got 2 for probe left flank. If we rally, they can be ordered. So that's what we will do. We are going to rally. Okay, so battle die equal to command. So we have 4. And we want everything other than flags and sabres. And we get 2 infantry. So we can get 2 grenadiers back. And that means that the grenadiers can be ordered. So the grenadiers are going to move forward 1 to there. And that's it. Not as much as I was hoping for, that's for bloody sure. Okay, French. So they have a fire and hold still. Not a great deal of good to them. They have a scout left flank, attack and probe right flank, and a cavalry charge. Okay, so how's their cavalry charge going to go? So the light cav here could go 1, 2, and try and take this out, and then maybe cut around behind the cuirassiers. Or they could go 1, 2, and try and take out the grenadiers, but the grenadiers can still retreat back this way. The heavy cav could come up in behind the town, which wouldn't do much good. We've got the heavy cav here, which could come forward and hit these, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We could get them up into the town, which isn't going to do a great deal, but it's better than nothing. And the cavalry, the heavy can move 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bum, bum. So I can achieve just about everything with a cavalry charge as I can with a right probe or a scout left. But I think we need to do it. So let's do a cavalry charge. Okay, 4 or fewer cavalry or horse artillery units. We have no horse artillery units. Righto. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 4. This one is going to go 1, 2, 3 into the town. And again, it's just a holding position for battle points. This heavy unit is going to go forward for 1, 2, 3, and the idea is to try and push this guy back and then get in on them. This heavy cav unit is going to come 1, 2, and can't do any more. And then the light cavalry unit is going to go 1, 2, 3, back here, so they can attack into here. Alright, so we'll start over this side first, and they are attacking with 1 extra die. Okay, so we have these attacking for 4 die against the battalion mass if they want to do that, and they will. So they get 1 die first against the cavalry and miss. The cavalry attacks them and misses. Okay, nothing else happens there, so we have the light cavalry against the horse artillery here, and they're going to get 4 dice, plus 1 is 5 against the horse artillery, and they get 1 retreat, which can be ignored now. Do they want to ignore it? Does it matter if they ignore it? It doesn't matter, because if we're going to retreat 1, oh yeah, we don't want to ignore it. Sorry, we do want to ignore it. We don't want to retreat to here or here, because once he moves forward, if we get another retreat, we're gone. So we're going to ignore it, and we're going to stand. And that way, he doesn't go forward at all and can't attack again. Right. And that is the French go done. Okay, so we have scout left flank for the Austrians, probe left flank for the Austrians, give them the cold steel, which we could do. So both of these units could go here, and we've also got the light cavalry here. Or we have a bayonet charge, 4 or less infantry units. Now my line units can only move 1. But that means this one could come up to here. This guy could come forward if he wanted to. That's not going to achieve much. The grenadiers could come forward 2 and take on the foot, and then they would still be protected by the forest. And they'd also, they're not a guard, they're a grenadier, so they don't get any extra for that. Okay. As much as I'd like to do that, that still leaves this hanging slack. So I'm not going to do Bayonet Charge. I'm going to give them the Cold Steel. So issue an order to all units adjacent to the enemy. So that gives me this unit, this unit, this unit, and this unit, all adjacent to the enemy. Ordered units may melee with one additional die. They may not engage in ranged combat. They may not move before combat, but after a successful melee, infantry may take ground and cavalry may perform a breakthrough and may make a bonus melee attack with its standard number of battle die. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to do this guy to here, and does the heavy cavalry wish to retire and reform? And the answer is a resounding yes. So the line unit has 5 die. +1 is 6, and we need cavalry symbols. And we get 1 and 3 retreats. So we get 1 and 3 retreats, so we have to take at least 2. And we go 1, 2, and we'll take the 3rd. No, we won't. Yes, we will. We'll take the 3rd. So his retreats actually went past his reform. And then this unit can advance, which they will do into there. Righto, this unit cannot do anything else this turn, except they don't have a unit adjacent to them anymore, so they can remove their battalion mass. Right, next we have the horse artillery against the light, or the light against the light, and I'm going to do the light cav against them first, so that these guys can't run away. Though if they're going to run away, they can only run away 2 to here, and I'd still get a go, wouldn't I? Yes, so they're going to do the run away, but I still want to do the cavalry first. So 4 light cav +1 is 5 against the French light cav, and we get 1. Wow. That wasn't all that flash. And they're going to come back with 3. And they make us retreat 1 to here. Righto, so then we have the horse artillery at point blank range, which is 2 die. +1 for the cold steel is 3. And we have 2 hits. And they come back with 1 and miss. Okay. I suppose they could have done their run away, but I forgot about it. So I've hurt the Austrians enough, so now I've hurt the French. Okay. Righto, so the French are looking awfully crappy still. Okay, so now they have a probe right flank, an attack right flank, a scout left flank, fire and hold, and a first strike that I didn't check. Okay, so what do we want to do? Fire and hold is going to do Jack. First strike we'll just keep there. So right flank we have these two units. So we could probe, we could attack. It's not going to really do much, but this unit is basically a write-off. I can't really get him out of there. Sugar. If my heavy cavalry comes down into here, it's sort of protected, but these blokes can still come up here. I'm going to have to. Okay, so we're going to probe right flank. So we have this unit and we have this unit. The light cavalry is going to come back 1, 2 into here. The heavy cav is going to go 1, 2 into here, and they're in the town. So they're holding 2 of them again at the moment. They can't attack or do anything. Okay, so if we can't kick this light cav out or this heavy cav out, then they'll get a point. Right, so we have scout left flank for 1, probe left flank for 2, bayonet charge or probe centre. Right. So probe centre. Okay, so if we do probe left flank, we've got 1, 2, 3 units on the left flank. So I could bring the cuirassiers 1, 2, and either attack the foot or the line unit here, or this unit here, and probably this one, and then follow through. Be there. I'd be better off attacking there and then coming back to try and attack him. So if I go here, then I move to there. No, I can still come back. Yep, so let's do probe right flank. Or no, use your little thing called brain, maybe. Let's do a bayonet charge. 4 or fewer infantry units. And we will do this infantry unit, this infantry unit, this infantry unit, and this infantry unit. This one, no, not that one. Let's bring him up from the back. So he's going to come forward 1 into here. This one is going to come forward 1 to here. This one is going to come forward 1 to here, because my line units can only move 1. And my grenadiers can move 2. And they're going to go 1, 2 to there. Righto. And the first thing we're going to do is this line unit is going to attack this light cavalry unit. And they're going to attack with 5 dice into a town, -2, gives us 3 dice. So do they want to use their first strike to stop that? And the answer is no, because they'd only get 1 die. So that's not a real smart move. So 3 die into the light cav. And we get 1 retreat. So they retreat back to here. Right. And they can then advance in. Yes. And we've taken that town. Now we're attacking in here, and they are going to use their first strike because they can't retire and reform because they've got nowhere to go. So they get their 4 die, and they get 1 and a retreat. So these guys go back 1, 2 to here. And then we've got nothing there. So first strike goes away and they get their card. Righto, so we're done over here. So what we have now is the Grenadiers, and we're going to go against this light unit and leader here first. So we have Grenadiers, which are 3, plus 1 is 4, 4 being Grenadiers. And against that light unit, and we get 1 retreat out of all of that. Wow. And do we want to retreat? Do we want to retreat? And I don't think we do. I think we'll stay there because at least we get 1 die back at the Grenadiers and we take 1 of them out. So there we go. So that didn't work all that well for the Austrians. And it's left these guys high and dry. They really wanted to knock that out and then come back here and at least have a go at them. Or them. Okay. French. Feeling a little bit happier. And they have an attack right, a scout left, a fire and hold, a probe right, and a short supply. Now, a short supply is good in that we could kick him out, and there's no way in the world they can get anybody up into here in their next turn. But we don't really want to do that at the moment. It's not really going to achieve a great deal. So probe right, attack right. So on the right we only have this heavy unit and the light unit there. We could do a do or die with the light unit back into here if we wanted to. We could do a do or die. In fact, we could do the attack into there with the heavy cav and bring the light cav back into here. And in fact, we could bring the light cav into there, and we could actually take this light infantry into here if we wanted to. Now, fire and hold is for infantry and artillery. So we could do a fire and hold. That would give us lots of shit onto him. It would give us fire onto him there. Give us a little bit of fire over to here. What's more important, and what have we got a great chance of achieving? If we take the heavies down here, there's a good chance we can knock him out. But then he's going to be up against a light cav and 2 heavy cuirassiers in there. So we could do that and take him out. If we do our fire and hold, there's a damn fine chance we can take him out and there is a minor chance we can kick him out of there and move into here. No, units may not move before or after combat, so he would not be able to move into there. But that's okay, because they couldn't get in there either. Damn it, Janet. I think we're going to have to go for the kills. So we're going to go for a fire and hold. Okay, 4 or fewer infantry artillery. Righto. So the first one I think is the line unit here. And this foot artillery. That's 2. This foot artillery for 3. And this line infantry here for 4. And they get 1 additional die. Okay, so the first one that's going to play is the line infantry here against the grenadiers. And they're going to go in with 4 die. Plus 1. Yeah. For being line. Plus 1 for the fire and hold is 6 die against the grenadiers. And no, we don't have a first strike. And we blew them away. They're gone. And that's the first victory banner for the French. They can't go anywhere. But this guy can still fire, and he can fire at these cuirassiers here rather than in the town. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, which gives him 1 die, plus 1 for the fire and hold at the heavy cuirassiers at the back there, and we get 1 retreat, and the heavy cuirassiers can ignore that. So that's done. We have this line unit now into this line unit here, and again that's 3 plus 1 for being French line, plus 1 for the fire and hold is 5, minus 2 into the town is 3 die, and we get absolutely nothing. Wow. So that line unit is going to come back at them with 5 dice and kill 2 of them, leaving 1. Not happy, Jan. And then we need to do our leader check, and he's safe. So it's just him with his 1 line unit there, him with his 1 light unit there. Okay, and that leaves our foot artillery here, shooting down here for 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, 1 die plus 1. And we actually knocked 2 of them off. And that's done. Well, I thought it'd go better over here, that's for sure. Okay. Back to the Austrians. And they have a probe centre, scout left, probe left, and probe left. Okay. So what can we do in the centre? Well, we could put a charge in with the cuirassiers. And we could put charge in with the cuirassiers. That's for the centre. For their left flank, which is over here, I could charge this guy in the trees. That's going to be a minus 2, so that'd be only be attacking for 2. This guy could still come up, but I don't think that's going to achieve much there. No, so let's double it up. Let's probe centre, I think is our best bet. Okay, which is going to be this unit and this unit. Yes. Okay, so this heavy cavalry is going to go 1, 2 to here, and this heavy cavalry is going to go 1, 2 to to here. Excuse me. Righto, so these heavy cuirassiers are going to attack this light unit here to start with. Are they? Yes, they are. So they get 4 dice. So the question is... Yeah, that's right. 1 per block plus 1. So they get 4 dice. So does the light unit wish to go into square? And I would say they probably want to, so at least they get an attack in before anybody else does. They do have a first strike. But can they stop that happening? Realistically, the answer is only if they get a flag. And but the cuirassiers can ignore a flag. So no. So first strike's not going to help there at all. So they've got to hope they don't lose their first strike in their square. Righto, so the light infantry against the cuirassiers, and they get a hit. The heavy cuirassiers may ignore 1 infantry fire hit, but this is a melee hit, so they take a hit. Righto. And then they're going to come back with 1 die against the square, and they take it out. And that's the light unit, which gives the 2nd victory banner to them. And in fact, I was just thinking we had the line unit here and we had the cuirassiers in here, so we actually had 1 temporary victory banner at the start of the turn. So I'll leave that over there. That's a temporary. Right. So then we've got to do the check here. The leader, and he's safe, so he will run away. Now, where does he wish to run away to? And I suppose it'll just be 1, 2. To there, and that'll do. These cuirassiers can then come forward and then do what? Then they're going to attack the line unit here, and the line unit now, because they don't have anybody in square at the moment, can have all their cards. And they're going to do a first strike. Okay. So they get 4 die against the 2 heavy cuirassiers. And they kill 1. And we get 2 retreats, so they've got to retreat at least 1. They're going to retreat 1, 2 into the town. And this guy could advance if he wished to. And he can't because it's first strike. Righto. Which leaves this heavy cuirassier now, who is going to attack this foot unit before it worries about this line unit. So it is 4 dice plus 1 against the 3 foot artillery, and they get 2 hits and a retreat. So he's going to retreat 1. Cuirassiers can come forward, and they will hit him up again for 5. And they get 1 and knock it out. And that is the 3rd permanent banner and 1 temporary to the Austrians, and the cuirassiers are going to advance once more, but they can't attack anymore. And they're done. Okay. Okay. French. Get a card. Whoops. In fact, they have the first strike, so they get that card, and the next card goes to there. Righto, so we have short supply for the French. Scout left flank. Attack right flank. Probe right flank. And scout right flank. So is a short supply going to help us at all? And I think it might actually help us out this time. More than anything else. So we're going to use short supply on an enemy unit, remove it from the hex it occupies, place it in the baseline hex in the same section of the battlefield. So we're going to take it away from here to the same section of the battlefield. We're going to put it all the way over there. Like that. Done. And that gets them out of the way for a while, which hopefully lets us free up here to try and knock the rest of these buggers out before they can get help. Righto. Now we go back to the Austrians, who have an attack right flank, probe left flank, scout left flank. Righto, so this is the left flank for the Austrians. So they can scout it or probe it. So they have 1, 2, 3 effective units there. They're not very good units, but they've got 3 units there. So what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Or we come over to the right flank and have a go there. Which means we could probably take this bugger out because he's got nowhere to go, or we can maybe take them out. Let's do a right flank attack. Okay, so 3 units over here. So we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. And this one is going to come over this way. We need to start to bolster that left flank out for them again. The foot artillery is going to stay where it is. It's simply going to fire at this line unit here for 1. We'll do that first. And we got one. And we rejoiced. Yay! They're done. And then this line unit is going to attack here. And they are attacking for 1 to block is 5. No first strike. And they kill that last line unit there. So we need to do the leader. And he's safe, so he's going to retreat. And he can retreat through his own people, I believe. So he's just going to go 1, 2, 3 back to here like that. We are not going to go forward. And we still hold the 2 at the start of our turn, so we still hold our temporary banner. And we've now knocked off 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've actually got 5 banners all told. And we're back to the French turn. Let me have a look at the time. Dum, dum, dum. Nearly an hour and a half. We're doing really well. Okay, so what we might do is hold it there and then come back with the next video and finish off this one. We should be able to knock it over in another, I don't know, 15, 16 hours, something like that. So take care, be good, enjoy your gaming, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now. G'day, welcome back again to Dad vs Son and our playthrough of Command and Colours Napoleon, and we're going on with the rest of this scenario, this battle of Jungingen and Haslach, I think it's called. Haslach-Jungingen, 11 October 1805, and the Austrians against the French, and we're back to the French's turn. So, this again has come down to a battle of attrition more than anything else. The French troops have the better quality, but the quantity of Austrian troops has its own quality as well. So at the moment, the French right flank is not looking too bad in its own way. They're holding the Austrians. The left flank is starting to look a little bit tight, and we haven't even brought half the Austrian troops into any form of battle yet. And as you can see from the victory banners at the moment, the Austrians actually have 4 and a temporary for 5, whereas the poor old French only have the 1. Again, the Austrians are holding at currently 2 of the 3 town hexes. So if they can hold that again until the start of their turn, then they'll retain their temporary victory banner. So the French need to try and kick them out of there, that's for sure, and get themselves in there. So it's really going to depend on what they end up with. So let's have a look and see. So the French have got their scout right flank, probe right flank, attack right flank, scout left flank, and they've picked up a probe left flank. So nothing in the centre at all, which is a bit of a pain because I really wanted to try and bring this line unit forward and help out with that. Okay, so if we have a look at the right flank first, we've got a scout, a probe, and an attack. We've got effectively 1, 2, 3 units, 1 unit, 1 remnant, and 1 leader. So what we could do with that is maybe use our attack right flank to bring our leader forward to the heavy cavalry in the town there with the church, and activate the light infantry as well, and then get the heavy cavalry to try and kick out the cuirassiers. If we can do that, then the heavy cav can move forward and take that. Then they can move forward 1 more and try and take out this, whilst the light cavalry comes over into one of these hexes to try and hold. So that's right flank, and I think that's a pretty good idea, just to whittle this down further before they can get more forces over there. Now on the left flank, we've got a good battle line, but our light cavalry has been cut off from any sort of retreat, and we've only got a scout or a flank there. So we could probe with the left flank and move the light cavalry down to try and take out this line unit, and then if they were successful, they could move over to this foot unit, the foot artillery unit. The only trouble we're going to run into is these guys will probably form battalion mass, and then we're only going to get the 1 go at them, which is a bit of a pain. We could try and soften them up. Well, we can't really try and soften them up at all. So we could do that. If we move those down to there, then that's going to give us a little bit of a go, and then maybe bring one of the line forward to melee here. That's going to give them 4 dice minus 2. So they're only going to get 2 dice in there, but hopefully kick them out so they can move in. And then that's going to leave these here and that. So what's going to cause the most damage is what it comes down to. If we can kick these out, the only place they can go at the moment is down to here, which is starting to block everybody down to this corner and cut off any retreat they've got. So we could end up with a rolling sort of forced retreat on the Austrian line, seeing as they have to retreat 2 hexes, which is going to start causing them a little bit of problem. The only trouble is we're likely to lose our light cavalry in the same thing. Okay, so if we try to kick this guy out, we're going to be attacking with 4 minus 3 into the town, I believe. Yeah, so we're only going to get 1 die in there. But we'd be then consolidated there. And there's no way that the horse artillery is going to move these, and there's very little chance of the light moving them as well. So bang for buck, we've got a good chance of taking out 2 units here, so we might actually be better off. No, we don't really. Well, we could come down to here and take this out and then come back 1 and try and take this out and get back into there. That might be better bang for buck. Or we can just push straight down here and try and kick these bastards out and then bring the light over. Decisions. If I leave these here, they're probably going to die. So I think I've got to go here first. So I'm going to do the probe. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to be losing those for no good reason whatsoever. So probe right flank, we're going to use the light here, and we're going to use the line here. So the light cavalry is going to go 1, 2 to here, and the line is going to move forward to here. And we'll do this attack first onto the foot to try and push them back, and that's going to be 4 dice against the foot artillery. And we get only bloody 1. Bugger. Pooh. Oh well. That's what happens. Righto, so they're going to come back with a whole bloody 4 dice against the light. And they get 1 and a retreat. Okay. And we retreat back to here. But at least we had the chance to retreat. Okay, so now we have the line infantry against the line infantry there. And being French line, in melee, they get 1 per block plus 1 is 4. But they lose 2 going into the town, so it's 2. And they just need to push the line back. So we want retreats more than kills. And we get a kill and a retreat. That's what we wanted. Okay, so they've got to go 2, so they have to go 1, 2 this way, or it'd be 1 here and lose another 1. And I don't really want them to lose another 1. So then we can move forward into here. And again, we now hold 2 of the 3, and if we can retain that, then we'll get a point back. Okay. So at this stage now, they only hold 1. They lose their temporary banner. And it is the Austrians' turn. And they can smell blood in the water. And they have a probe left, a scout left, and a forced march. And remembering that forced march for the line infantry is only 1 hex. Bugger. One hex. can start bringing him forward and try and do a little bit of damage. And I think that's what we're going to have to do, start bringing some pressure on over here. So forced march it is for the Austrians. 4 units. So let's start this unit moving over to bring some pressure on over here. We'll bring this unit back up to bring pressure onto here as 2. This unit is going to have to come forward, and this unit is going to come forward. So that's our 4. So this first line unit is going over to here and can't do any more. And at least they're screened from the artillery and nobody can get to them at the moment. So the idea is to try and get them up into here to bring this line unit under fire, still give them plenty of cover against the cavalry. This line unit moves forward 1 to here. This line unit will move forward 1 to here. I'd like to put them there, but if I put them there and I bring this forward, they get nowhere to retreat if needed. And this one can come forward to here, and they are good. Righto, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shoot at the light cavalry, and that's half rounded down for the line unit because they've moved, so 2. And we're just trying to punch these back if possible. It'll give us a bit of room to manoeuvre. And we get 1 retreat. So they're going to come back here. That still gives this line unit a chance to fire, but we'll hold that at the moment. And let's do the attack first here. So again, 1 per block, -2 into the town, trying to push that line unit back out. And we get nothing. Absolutely nothing. Righto, so the French line, 3 + 1, so being French line in melee, and they get 2 and a retreat. So these poor guys pushed all the way back. Okay, so that leaves this line unit firing here for 1 die because they moved. And they get a retreat, and this is moved back into the line, and they're done. So not great, but not great, as simple as that. Okay, so the French now have 2 of the 3, so they're going to get a temporary banner, giving them 2 against the Austrian 4. Okay. So, French, with their attack right, probe right, scout left, and probe centre. Okay, so what we were talking about here is still a good bet. Scout left, it's not going to give us a great deal over here. It'd be nice to move one of the cavalry units forward and try and take them out, but again, they're just going to form battalion mass and cut us back, so scout left isn't going to do anything. Probe centre, we could bring artillery fire down on here, and we could bring this line unit up to either here or here, so they can start to get in here and cause some trouble there. But I think over here is where we're going. And we're going to go for the attack right flank. So the first thing is that the heavy cavalry, the leader, and the light cav are going to be moving. And the heavy cav will go 1, 2, down to here. The light cav will go 1, 2, into here. And the leader's going to come down 1, 2, 3 with the light cav. So that they are still retaining the 2 at the moment. Okay, the heavy cav is going to try and take this unit out first. If they take them out and take this guy out, then all well and good. So, heavy cav, 4 dice, +1 for being heavy against the horse artillery, and they get 1 kill, which gives them another banner. And then we do our leader check, and we don't get anything. So he has to retreat. And he can only retreat 1, or he can retreat off the board. Now, if he retreats off the board, he's gone, but they don't get a victory point, if I remember correctly. I just want to make sure. Leaders. Leader retreat. You may choose to retreat your leader off the side of your battlefield. This saves your leader from becoming a victory banner, but you lose a strong command piece by doing so. Yeah. So that's what it comes down to. What do the Austrians want? They could retreat him just the 1, but then that allows the heavy cavalry to come back in and have a go at him. But they probably want to come into here and kick him out. They really don't want to leave him there. I think they're going to retreat him off the board. So he's gone, but no victory banner for him. So these guys move forward 1 and then come back again. And they're going to take on the heavy cuirassiers. And again, they get 4 dice. +1 is 5 for being heavy, -3. So they have 2 dice to try and take out those heavy cuirassiers. And they do it, which gives them another victory banner. And then they can move into here. And if they can hold again all 3, they'll pick up another temporary victory banner at the start of their next turn, which will bring them up to 5. So at the moment, they've come back up with evens. Right. Austrians weren't expecting that. They're not happy at all. So they again have their scout left flank, probe left flank, and leadership. But they only have 1 leader left now, so that's not a great deal to them. And their left flank, all they've got is this light cavalry unit. So I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to use the leadership. No. A leader may detach, a leader moves, joins, unit is not ordered. If you do not have any leaders, issue an order to 1 unity choice. No, so I can't just use it for 1. Damn. Okay, so we're going to do a scout left flank and see if we can get a better card out of this, because we only have the 1 anyway. So it's got to be this light cavalry unit. Now, what are they going to do? They could try and punch up here. They're only going to get 1 die against this, but that's better than nothing. So this is a bit of a forlorn hope for them. So 1 die, light cavalry against light cavalry in a town. And they missed, and we get no comeback because it's 3 coming out as well. Righto, so they're just stuck there. We get 2 cards for them, and they've got an attack centre, which is good. Righto, French are starting to feel a lot happier than they were not so long ago, and they have a scout right, probe centre, scout left, and attack centre. Now again, they have 3 units now in the centre. But I really don't want to be moving that heavy cavalry. Well, I suppose they could. If they bring the heavy cavalry out of the town, they can attack the light cavalry and try and move them on their way. They picked up, it's the start of their turn, and because they hold all 3 of them, they pick up a second temporary banner. So I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to do an attack centre, which will give us the foot, the line here to move up or not. No, they don't want it. The heavy and the light. So we may end up losing temporary banners, but I'm hoping maybe we can kick this guy out and pick up a permanent banner if need be. We can always leave the leader here holding this. So the first thing that's going to happen is the foot is going to fire at this line unit here. And it's a range of 3, so they get 2 dice and get 1 kill. Which is pretty damn fine. Not as good as it could have been, but not too bad. The heavy cav now is going to come out 1 to here, like this, and attack the light Austrian cavalry, and they get 5. And they hit them for 2. And we also have a retreat. Light cavalry. Yeah. So they retreat the 1. Now the heavy cavalry has the chance to move up here. And then they can either battle on again or move back into here to retain their position. And I think what we'll do is we'll just battle on. So again, 5 dice. And the light cavalry, I believe, doesn't get a chance to battle back because they retreated. And that kicks them out and they're dead. Which gives them their 4th permanent banner with 2 temps at the moment. And these guys can advance again into where they did it, and then they're going to come back this way. And the light unit itself is going to move forward to here and stop with the leader remaining there. Right. Okay, so the whole Austrian left flank has been destroyed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on a tick. We've got 1. Ah, yeah, they're not destroyed yet. Okay, Austrians. Attack centre, leadership, probe left, probe left. Well, probe lefts are absolutely useless because they don't have anybody on the left. So that only leaves them really the attack centre or the leadership, so it's going to be an attack centre. Right. So this unit is going to move. We'll bring up our heavy cuirassiers, and we'll bring up our other line unit. So this line unit is going to move forward into the forest. This line unit, the cuirassiers are going to go 1, 2 onto the bridge, and this line unit here is going to come forward to here. Rightio. Back to the French with their scout right, probe centre, scout left, and attack centre. Righto. So again we have 1, 2, 3 in the centre. So the cuirassiers can retreat because they can retreat to here or to here, because this is a fordable creek the whole way along. So we could push the heavies into here, or we push the heavies into here to go after the cuirassiers on the right flank, but I don't think that's going to achieve a great deal. So I think we're going to be doing the centre again, and we have a probe centre for 2. I don't really want to move this guy. We still hold 1, 2, 3, so we still have our 2, and if we can take out 1 unit, then the French will win. So they're going to probe centre, and this is a bit of a all out. Again, it'd be nice and easy to move the cavalry forward, but the trouble is this guy can still form battalion mass and he's not going to do anything. So we're going to try and take him out with the foot artillery, and we're going to move our line unit. And the line unit will move over to here. Excuse me. Ready to come in here and do flanking support against him. And this foot artillery is going to try and take out this line unit here, and if it can, then the game is over and done with, and dead as a dodo. And that gives us the 7th banner to the French, and for the first time in 3 scenarios, 3 battles, the French have actually done what they were meant to do historically. Wow, that turned around, because it looked like the Austrians were going to kick their butts. But the Austrians were just too light over this on their left flank right from the start, and I really couldn't get troops over there fast enough to do anything. I probably brought the Grenadiers over a little bit too quickly, and they suffered from that. Yeah, bugger. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. It came out differently than I thought it might have. But the cards, I think, especially for the Austrians in the end, let them down. But no. Hats off to the French. They did bloody well. Congratulations. So our next battle will be, I think it's pronounced Haslach-Jungingen, which is the 4th one in the Austrian expansion, for 14th of October 1805. And we go back to old Marshal Ney following up on this defeat. So, thank you once again for watching. Again, I've enjoyed this. I hope you have. I hope I haven't screwed up too much, or or confuse people with how I've played it. But no, it's been good. So thank you, take care, and we'll catch you next time for the next exciting episode of Command and Colours Napoleonics. Be good. Bye for now.